Hey, this is Scott, and I'm here with another review, this time of the NASB 2020 Prime Reference Bible. It comes in this nice box. We have premium goatskin cover, 9.5 point size type, line matched typesetting, clear reading type, 2-column text, references at the bottom, a minimum set of translation notes. That's a big deal right there. Minimum set of translation notes. Paragraph formatting, black letter text. We have presentation page in the front, family records in the front, in the back, topical index, book introductions, color maps, Bible reading plan, miracles of Jesus, and parables of Jesus. Whenever the Bible comes in the box, there's enough room. There's enough room on the side here because the yap can fold in, but it's too tight on top and bottom. All three of the Prime series are a little bit too short in the box at the top and bottom. Of the three Prime Bibles, if we compare the goatskin on each of them, this one has the most texture. And so it's a little bit rougher. The large print ultra thin is really soft. The large print compact is really soft as well. These two leathers seem very similar, but for some reason the reference leather is different. You almost get a sense that it's kind of dry or something like that. So maybe if you get the reference Bible, you might want to add some leather conditioner to it or something like that. All right, here's a look of all three Primes together to show you sort of the footprint. Obviously, the LPUD is on bottom, the large print compact's on top, the reference edition is in the middle. Here's a look at the spines together. All right, so let me get you some dimensions on the reference edition here. We have Holy Bible, New American Standard, and NASB Lockman Foundation. It has the 5 hubs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the top and the bottom is this little hump right here. You see how that sort of just got a little hump on the spine, doesn't it? That's at the top and the bottom. And part of that is because this Bible has been sitting, it's been sort of pinched in its box a little bit. The gilding looks good. The ribbons are placed in a good spot, so I appreciate a good ribbon placement. The ribbons are tucked okay. There's not a bunch of glue sticking out. We have black headbands, tail bands. Let's open it up here. So, not a bad smell on there. The fold over it's not a big fold over. You do have machine stitching on the perimeter. You have a gilt line on the perimeter. Give you a look at the pleated corner work. They're really tiny pleats. Not bad at all. And we have the ISBN number here at the bottom. Pretty good looking gilding on the page edges. And when we open it up, you'll see this salmon color. We have a double-sided red ribbon. And we have a double-sided satin black ribbon. I think this may be cowhide on the inside of the cover. And here's how far the gluing goes on that first page. So those are glued together. Here's the black end page. And we have cardstock, and these two are glued together, and then the next two are glued together. So that's interesting. And then the presentation page is tipped on. We have marriages, wife's family tree, husband's family tree, births, deaths, occasions to remember. We have overcast stitching in the title page. There's more overcast stitching here in chapters 6 and 7 of Genesis. The underart, it does have the salmon color, but it's a little bit darker than that. It's kind of splotchy. There's a little bit of splotchiness to it, but it's not distracting. One of the best things about the Prime series is that these are printed in Korea. So this is the first print, printed in Korea. This is the 2020 reference edition, published in 2022 by Lockman. And then we have the general front matter about the forward. And all right, here we go to the Old Testament page. press that down so you can look at the ghosting. All right, and now we have this new typesetting for the reference Bible that looks good. This might be the best looking Prime Bible that we have from Lockman. So we have all of our references here, and I like how they separate the footnotes apart from the cross references. So it's not difficult to find your footnotes at all. Whenever we go through this, obviously you notice lots of cross references at the bottom, right? And then there's one footnote or 0 footnotes. New American Standard has a bunch of footnotes everywhere. I'm not quite sure what to think about the philosophy of having all the cross references, but what they call a minimum set of translation footnotes. I'm not sure what to think about it. I know this. I believe that footnotes are part of the translation, and every New American Standard ought to have the entirety of them printed there, because I think it's part of the translation. I think the translators themselves would say, hey, this is part of our translation, and it belongs in there. I always want to know whenever there's a quotation. So in Matthew 22, verse 44, I want to know that this is a quotation from 44a. Let's see, 44a. That is Psalm 110, verse 1. The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet. So I always want to know that's there. But I don't need a million cross references. But I do want all the footnotes. So the philosophy of this, I don't quite understand it as a New American Standard reader. But I have to admit, whenever I go for one of these 3 Bibles, if I want to pick something up and take it to a Bible study, or if I just want to sit on the couch and read something, this is the one I go for. It's the size I want. It looks good. If you look at the compact, there's something about the compact. The font is the same, isn't it? Isn't it the same font? But there's something about the compact. Maybe it's the amount of blank space around the edge of the Bible or something like that, that it's not quite as appealing as this. This is the most beautiful prime that they've put out. And until we see Lockman come out with their version of the Strident, this is going to be the best. It's an excellent design. I just wish it had all the footnotes and an abbreviated set of cross references. I wish it was the other way around. Let's look at the New Testament page. So this should give us the best look at the show through, the ghosting on the other side of this page. And I don't think it's bad at all. It seems like the same paper as the large print ultra thin, and it's really nice paper. So we have Matthew here on the other side, and of course Matthew's looking good. It's just a great looking Bible. Let me show you what the Psalms look like. Notice we have the Pilcrow here, Pilcrow markers. The New American Standard has typically used a bold verse number to let you know whenever there's a new paragraph. But this is a paragraph Bible, so it doesn't have to do that anymore. It just indents, right? So what do you do when you come to the Psalms? The Psalms are going to give you that Pilcrow marker. And again, in Isaiah we see it. So we have that Pilcrow all over the place. Yeah, Psalm 119 gives us all the Hebrew letters. So there's your Hebrew alphabet. What about the fall of man test? If you want to preach out of this Bible, can you go to Genesis and preach out of Genesis chapter 3 without the Bible shutting on you? And the answer is yes. The ghosting is really good. I mean, they come out with this Prime series, and we're so accustomed to inferior paper with Lockman, but they lavish this beautiful white paper on us with no blue gutter. And you know what? With this reference Bible, even if you don't get the Prime, you still get the Prime paper in the other versions of the reference Bible. So if you got the genuine leather or the leather soft editions, you got the same paper. The LPUT, it is not like that. So if you get a genuine leather LPUT, you have the Chinese printing, the blue tint gutter, and the inferior paper. even though the Chinese print here does have a nicer bold text, I believe. Also, if you get the large print compact, you have the nice 33 GSM paper, whereas if you get the leather soft edition of that, you have the inferior Chinese print. If we turn to the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5, notice that this is black letter text. It is not a red letter edition. All right, let's go to the end matter. Here's our topical index. And here's the end of the topical index. Turn to introductions to the books of the Bible. So they're all here at the end. I'll give you a good look at all these. And then we have a Bible reading plan. Here are the parables of Jesus and the miracles of Jesus. And we've got a little split right here. Y'all, you see the split? This is where we have the overcast stitching in the back, but we got a split. Here are the Lockman maps with which you are accustomed. Shouldn't be anything new here for a Lockman user. Glossy cardstock maps. Give you an idea of the glossiness. There's that old Lockman brown. That Lockman sand color, Lockman beige. And, this one's kind of tipped on to the last page here. Pull it a little bit, and I'll stop there. Okay. These two are tipped together, and that's as far as I can separate the end page. Leatherette. And we're at the end of this Bible. So, how does it open? If I'm going to do my karate chop hand, put it underneath the spine and hold it open for you. And it doesn't completely fall. It's not as floppy as the large print ultra thin. This large print ultra thin is very floppy. I'll do my karate hand and it just sort of goes straight down. It does have sort of this, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to say dry, but it almost looks kind of dry to me. But anyway, if you wanted to condition the leather in some way, you could try one of these products here, or now this might change the smell a little bit, but Lexol has a leather treatment kit you could try. Now I hear you guys in our New American Standard Facebook group saying, hey, I think the 2020 has won me over. So which Bible do I need to get to rebind? If you want to rebind one of these, the good news is the Reference Bible gives you the prime paper in all of its editions, whether it's goatskin or genuine leather or the leather soft edition. It all has the good paper. You're not going to get the salmon under art, but maybe you want a purple Bible with purple under art, or a blue Bible with blue under art, or if you're a sicko, maybe you want to get silver with red underneath. And so you send it off to get that done. Whatever it is, you want to start with the prime paper. And so my recommendation is, obviously, if you're going to rebind any 2020 text, it's this one. It's not the prime edition, but you get that leather soft edition. But yeah, go after this. This Reference Bible is a hit. You're not going to regret it, unless the complete suite of footnotes is a deal breaker, and then you would regret it. This is an excellent, excellent Bible, and you won't be disappointed by it. You will not have buyer's remorse with the 2020 Prime Reference Bible.